Okay, as you're going to see on social media, I've put up posts just confirming who I am and who I'm related to, because now the last 10 years, so I'm going to have to find a solicitor to, if I can't go after the large organisations that gathered information, I'm going to have to go after the people that gave these organisations information, which might be easier. And it comes from Tamworth. It comes from where my mother moved with her second husband, Mark Rackley. It comes from people that know my mother's second husband's family, which is not related to myself and my twin sister. And in doing so, now, it's not like these people haven't been told. So since April 1989, these people have been told continuously. Our surname's Fleming. My father's well, back then he was an affluent builder. You know, like he was constantly building like 7 days a week. I'm like, my father's a builder. My surname's Fleming. Amanda's surname's Fleming. Stop calling us Rackley. Okay, we've just moved here, and my mother's just remarried before moving here. Mum has a separate surname to us. The other man, Mark Rackley, that's not our father. Our father's Mark Fleming. So now you're gonna see that this area bullied. Well, I think that's a good indication. I mean, look, yeah, not like I'm not gonna, it's not like bullying like what people actually think bullying is, but it's still a form of stalking, harassment, and bullying, to the point of extreme negligence that's caused me health damage because it's actually wrongly diagnosed me. A great example is the gathered information from organisations. They gathered information directly related to my mum's second husband, Mark Rackley, and his family. So Mark Rackley, who worked for a Freemason nursing home called Moonby House in the Tamworth area, they moved there in April 1989. Mark Rackley comes from a very low-income family, a very housing commission family. He's a deadbeat, an extreme deadbeat loser of an alcoholic. So this family have alcohol issues, drug issues, and cannabis issues, but it's their entire family that do. So I've already now had that projected onto me, as far as where it went to St. Vincent's. St. Vincent's was given information that my father was an alcoholic, deadbeat loser, cannabis smoking, drug using, violent nurse. St. Vincent's used that information to engage in another organisation, so this is negligent, engaged in another organisation attaching me with being related to this type of family, when that's not true. And I barely know my mum's second husband because they were not married long. It didn't really affect me. Probably it has changed her in her life more than what it would me. So St. Vincent's and social workers, support workers and other carers type groups, including mental health counsellors, support workers, to do with, psychologists, have all been given this information, which is wrong diagnosis. Now, what's also damaging and quite dangerous is that Mark Rackley's son from his first marriage moved to Tamworth in 1995, and he has the exact same issues as Mark Rackley. So does Mark Rackley's daughter, Faith Rackley, which is he had with my mother. So does, I'm sure his other daughters do as well. The only one I haven't seen this behaviour with is Michelle. So Michelle Rackley is the oldest, and it goes Belinda Rackley, then Daniel Rackley, then Kimberly Rackley, and then Faith Rackley. Then Jade Elizabeth Rackley, then Faith Rackley. But I'm not blood related to the Rackleys. My mum's first husband's a Fleming. Now, this is where organisations have, through breaking privacy and confidentiality laws, committed negligence. And therefore, they've got me even sort of being related to somebody that's a deadbeat. I would say he's Aboriginal. I think mum's second husband. Like, he's a deadbeat. He's a skip. He's an absolute bogan deadbeat loser skip with no class. He's just disgusting. So he's a completely different person to who my father was. My father's a very classy man who comes from. He's a son of a ethnic. So my father is the son of Stanley Fleming. Stanley Fleming is not Australian. He wasn't born in Australia. But he did fight in a war for Australia. So my dad's father fought in the Second World War, even though my dad's father wasn't even born in this country. He went to war for Australia. So I think that says a lot about my dad's family. And Dad is a really good builder. And his father was a very hardworking man. They're all hardworking people. as well. So I think that says a lot about Dad's father. I mean, Dad's father, he was very strongly connected with Australia because, according to him, so according to Pop Stanley Fleming, he doesn't remember his parents, but he came here as an orphan boy and was raised by Edith Kavanagh in Botany Bay. So he wasn't adopted by Edith Kavanagh. He was raised by Edith Kavanagh as Stanley Fleming. Okay, and that was in Botany Bay. Now, I can elaborate further on my dad's side. I know my dad's side's history very well, especially my dad didn't want to hear it, but my dad's uncle used to tell me. So my dad's uncle is his mother's brother, which is Uncle George. And Uncle George, I used to, pick for information, like a lot of information to do with my dad's father, because Uncle George is really close to my dad's father, his brother-in-law. Apparently, so Uncle George, well, I see Uncle George is homosexual. Uncle George's homosexual was with his husband, or his partner, his long-term partner, for over 55 years, and which is his partner, John. And Uncle George said that, like in the days where people were getting treated differently, Stanley never treated me different. Your pop knew I was a homosexual, and I was very close to your pop. It's to the point that when my pop was dying in the 80s, they were living on the Central Coast, and he rang Uncle George and he said, "Could you and John move up here, please?" So Uncle George was living in Leichhardt, because that's where they're all from, the inner city, my family. Which is, again, where I don't know where organisations got their information from, because it's wrong. We're all originally from the inner city. Like my descendants' history and heritage is from the city of Sydney. Inner city. Anyway, so Uncle George was still living in Leichhardt, and Pop Stanley Fleming said, "I'm dying, and your sister's going to be here alone on the coast. Could you and John move?" And they moved down the road from Nan in Bangalow Street at Long Beach. And they did. So that's how close. So Uncle George sat with me and told me exactly. Oh God, I remember Pop Stanley Fleming anyway. He was a lovely man. He was just very strict and old school European. Very different to my mum's parents. But my mum's parents were a lot younger than my dad's parents. Quite a lot younger, about a good 10 years younger than my mum's parents. Easy 10 years younger than my mum's parents. And so Uncle George said no. Like, I'll tell you, he was a very, old European type man, but he knows a lot more to do with the descendants of Stanley Fleming than anyone else. And Dad was like, "Oh, I don't want to know. Like, we're at my place in Surrey Hills," and Dad's like, "I'm going to bed. You two can sit up all night talking. I don't care." "You don't want to know about your dad?" "I don't care. He's dead." Like, meaning Dad he's not fond of knowing much about the family history or heritage, and I always was. Growing up with him, even Dad didn't speak to his mother for about 15 years, and I used to go and see Nan, so Ruby Jean, and I would go and see Nan and then go to Dad's afterwards. But I used to go and bring Dad, so I'll be going to Dad's anyway at Empire Bay. This is like, I'm going back to my teenage years, like when I just got my P's even. So we're going to Dad's at Empire Bay, and I'm not touching my ear for any reason. Those that look at oh God, you know what? When you're doing posts, have you ever noticed that people look at the way people react and stuff on posts? But no, my ear is itchy. My earring was stuck earlier. So I'm just doing the backup. So I'm just saying this because, I was watching people's posts and like, oh, that person touched their ear. That means that they've got this. They're psychoanalyzing every move. And I'm actually just doing my earring tight. There. It's like, oh my God, people just overanalyze everything these days. Anyway, so I'll go from like Sydney. I'll be at Nan and Pop's in Sydney, which is your mum's parents, so Lola. And she'll be like, "Now, you're going up to see your dad?" I'm like, "Yes." She goes, "Well, go and see your Nan first." I'm like, "All right." So I ring Dad. I'm like, "Dad, I'm coming up I'll be up there today, but I'm up there in the afternoon or evening." He goes, "Oh God, why can't you get up here early?" I'm like, "I'll be up there so we can have dinner and go to bed and get up and spend the day tomorrow together." Right. And then I'll go to Dad's mum's, who is down the road from Dad. And I'll do that and not tell Dad that I'm going to his mum's, going to my Nan's house, because I didn't want to upset Dad. Anyway, so I have to go and spend the day with Nan, Ruby. And I'll be asking, and when her, about Pop and so forth. I said, I'll remember, because Pop had a very dark olive skin. So with my dad's father actually, he stood out very different from the rest of the family members. And then you've got my dad's mother, who froze a bit of her mother, Ada Gray. So my dad's grandmother's Ada. Ada's extremely Jewish looking, which I think that's where the blue eye comes from as well. So Ada's got the big hook nose and the frizzy hair, and then her husband is extremely German looking. But her husband is actually, well, technically he's English, because Nan's father's, Nan's grandparents on her father's side are from Southampton and London. So technically they're British, with German look, basically. Like they're British with German look. I don't know how to explain that anymore. And that's not even the Fleming side. That's the Hill side. Frank Edward Hill and Kate Elizabeth Keelan King is Nan's grandmother on her father's side. Kate Elizabeth Keelan King from Southampton. Oh, and how do I know that? How do I know all this? Oh, in the last 10 years, I literally had losers from my high school, or people that were contacting me on social media going, "Oh, do you know this from what do they do? Oh, is that from Ancestry.com?" I'm like, "From what?" It's like, no, this is from my nan. This is from my Uncle George. So Uncle George came and stayed with me in Surrey Hills. And I moved out of Surrey Hills in 2012. So we're talking about like well before 2012. And I got all this information from Uncle George. And he goes, "Your dad's cousin Kathy on your nan's side, on Riverside, has more information. If you find your dad's cousin Kathy," I'm like, well, now Uncle George is dead, I have no idea where these people are. And neither does Dad. So I have no idea whether, because the big family that my nan comes from, which is Ada Gray. So Ada Gray and Frank Edward Hill, they had a massive, huge family. I think they're all born in Five Dock and raised in Abbotsford. But I don't know where all Nan's other brothers and sisters' children are. Like there's heaps. They'll be all around Sydney somewhere. So anyone that's got a great grandmother, which is Ada Gray, and a great grandfather, Frank Edward, who I'm related to, and if they look German with blue eyes, shit, that's my nan. Like so Nan, Ruby Jean. Anyway, so her brother, so even her brother had blue eyes. So Uncle George had blue eyes. That blue eyes it's piercing through Nan's side. So Meredith has blue eyes. Dad has green eyes. My dad has green eyes. I've got dirty brown eyes. Dave had black eyes, basically, which is what Pop had, Stanley. So, yeah. Anyway. Dad's got green eyes. That's why Amanda has hazel eyes. Amanda, my twin sister, has got the Fleming eyes. She's very lucky. The only thing I got was the sort of darkness and the bowel problems. I'm like, what did I inherit? Oh, I can go dark. I can go really dark like Pop, because that's where the pigmentation comes from in my DNA, which my dad's father has very dark olive skin. That's without sunlight. He has very dark olive skin. So even on the Australian government records, they've put him down as not Caucasian. They've put him down as dark. So on Australian government records, they put, and it's not, it's not a mistake, it's not this. It's like, no, he's not Caucasian. I mean, when he was sick and an old man, he looked like whiter skin, but back in those days, like you can see, he wasn't, like his skin was dark olive, so they actually wrote down a dark complexion, because his skin was dark olive. And anyway, which Meredith gets, my cousin Meredith. She's lucky, she throws this sort of North Italian look. Me, what do they get? I've got some dark features, but the rest of me is like, I've got the Fleming bowel problem. I bloat, I get gastric reflux. I mean, they've got bowel cancers and God knows. So I didn't inherit much of the. Oh no, I suppose that's not true, because if you actually look at photos of me when I'm younger, I look very much like a Fleming. Anyway. So the ethnic look is right through my dad's side. And information I got from Uncle George and Nan. And then it was 2012. I actually asked Dad's older sister, I'm like, do you have any documents to back this up? I said, I know what Nan told me, I know what Uncle George told me, but I want documented proof. Do you have documents to back this up? She says, I'll make some copies for you, Justin. And what she did was, so which was really nice, but I've got original copies of this as well. So Dad's older sister. I've just put a post up now about. So she's really, well, she's not that much older than Mum, but I think Sharon's had a bit of a hard life. So what she did was she said, "Okay, what documents I've got?" And she got these from the house. I said, she wrote notes. She goes, "I found these in a funny place." I said, "My grandmother used to hide documents and things." It's like, "Why?" She goes, "I found these under the carpet in the house." She said, "You know what Mum was like? Her feet." And it's an old saying in the family. Ruby's feet, when they're planted firmly in the sand, they won't budge. It's like, that doesn't need to know. You don't know that history. Anyway, so my dad's mum put together, and I said, like, I just want the documents. She goes, "It's fine." For a Christmas present, sorry, my dad's mum, oh my God, my dad's sister put this together for me as a Christmas present. So she goes, "I'll put it in a book for you, so you can keep it all together." And she did. She put it in this. It's her handwriting. It was really lovely because she's getting old. And I thought, you know what? Her great grandchildren now. And I've actually got the original photo somewhere, but she put this in anyway. There we go. That is Ada Gray and Frank Edward Hill. So that's why my Nana Ruby looks like an old Jewish lady, basically. But if you look at both my Nan's parents, they've got massive, huge noses. The massive, huge hook nose comes from my dad's mother. There's Stanley in his war uniform. There's Pop. So, and then in the last 10 years, literally, people that know my mother's side have been asking my mother's side all these questions. And I'm like, well, what the fuck would my mother's side know? Why are you asking them? They have no idea. And my twin sister has no idea because she's stuck with my mother. Like, I've had stupid people go, "Well, how come Amanda doesn't know?" I'm like, well, because Amanda is always with our mother. I wasn't. I'm not close to my mother. I never have been close to my mother. I think she's a loser. Like, I think she's a freaking deadbeat idiot, to be honest. And she always has been a deadbeat idiot. So I've never been close to her. I'm always with my dad's side. So anyway, I knew the information before Arnie put that together for me. Because I said, "Arnie, just whatever documents you have," because, Arnie's, well, okay. Dad would always whinge and be like, I'll be sitting with Dad and he goes, "Well, there'll be a document on that, but my sister would have it. And I'm the only son left around." Like, it's like, there's other brothers alive, but Dad's the only one that kept in touch with his mum, really. "I'm the only son, blah, blah, and I should be holding all the documents." I'm like, all right, I'll go and ask Auntie Sharon. Because I don't talk. So Auntie Sharon, it's the same as this photo. Let me show you. There's a photo, and I've got to agree with Dad here. It should be with the men, not the women. Because the men are Flemings. The women marry. So, Dad, and that's the thing. Like, it should not be. I do agree with what Dad's saying. Now, I'm actually trying to find a photo here of. So this one. All right. So my grandparents actually had their wedding photo painted. And as a child, used to walk into the hallway of my grandparents' house. And the first thing you saw when you walked into the hallway of my grandparents' house was their painted portrait. So you open the front door and the first thing you're greeted with was this beautiful large painting of their wedding photo. And I've got a copy of it, but I would love the original. And no one can tell a straight, like even Dad said, "Oh, no one can give me a straight answer to who's got the original." And you ask someone, it was like, "Didn't Uncle Graham take it? Isn't it all that he left with his second wife, Cheryl?" So, or is it with his first wife? So that's the painting. So that's my Pop Stanley Fleming with my Nan Ruby. And that painting, so this is the copy of the original painting. Used to stand, and then this is their wedding photo itself. So as well. So Dad gave me that one. So this Dad, Mark Fleming gave me this. That's Nan. That's Nan's father. That's Pop. I think that's Nan's sister. Or a brother. It could be. It looks like. I mean, they both got that very tall German look about them, which really is on my Nana Ruby's side. So that's Frank Edward Hill. And that's Stanley Fleming. And that's Ruby Jean Hill. I wonder if that's Nan's sister. You know what? I'll have to go and ask Dad's older sister before while she's still around. But anyway, so they'd be like, oh, well, I know. You know, like, so Dad doesn't talk to his sister, so I'll be there. I'll be like, Arnie, can I have a copy of those documents, please? Or can I have a copy of those photos? Or I'll be like, there was a photo when I used to go to Nan's. There was a photo I used to hang on the wall, like in the sunroom at the back. Could you make? She goes, yeah, love. Like, it's not like she's like, you know, oh no, you can't type thing. It's like they have all the photos, they have all the documents. And I'm like, look, Arnie, can you just make me a copy, please? Or even Uncle Tiny, Dad's brother-in-law. I'm like, you guys got that photo of Pop, haven't you? It's like, yeah. So can I have a copy of it? No worries, Justin. Like, that's what they're like. So all Dad had to do was ask. But he doesn't speak to his sisters. So anyway, so what I'm saying is, so then with these losers of people that know Carol's family, my mother's family, they've wrongly identified me with completely different nationality because Mum's second husband's a bogan, skip, loser. Completely different type of, that information was given to St. Vincent's, social workers, support workers, counsellors, you name it, that I was related to Rackleys when I'm actually related to Flemings. So that means all the behaviour of the Rackleys was projected onto me in the last 10 years in 2 countries, which is negligent. It's negligent. And that actually happened. And I'm there, and you'd be like, well, surely your mother would know. I'm like, yeah, surely my mother would. Well, she doesn't know much about her first husband, which is my father. And for the simple reason is no one could stand her. Like, you know, my dad divorced her. Like, my dad literally walked out and divorced her. I remember the day he just literally just walked out. He's had to go. Like, she's screaming at him in the backyard, hitting him with a star post. Like, she used to belt him. Like, picked up these star posts. I remember it clearly. So the place in Rudy Hill, so he's there and he's crying. Like, my mum's got these star posts and hitting him. Like, she's just an abusive bitch. She's evil to men. She's disgusting. She's a disgusting, vile creature. She's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, and she's in it. Anyway, Dad was crying. He just walked out. He goes, I can't, like, he couldn't handle. But my dad won't ever get treatment for the fact that he's the victim of domestic violence abuse. And it's really sad because being a man, it goes unchecked. Like, it basically gets, like, women get all this help. And I'm like, yeah, but those women are lying. As well, like, I've literally seen the amount of money that gets thrown into, women and abuse. I'm like, well, I haven't seen many women get abused in my lifetime. My mother got what she deserved with her second husband after the way she abused her first husband. And I haven't seen that. My mum plays the victim. It's like, yeah, she did used to get hit around by her second husband. That's true. But she's definitely not a victim. If you saw the way she abused her first husband, you would think, oh, well, Carol got what she deserved, didn't she? Like, honest to God, if you looked at how my mother was treating her first husband, who was a softie, my dad, you would look at that and go, well, karma, Carol, she got what you fucking deserved, didn't you? With your second husband, you wanted to be a low-life trash and go out with your second husband, you got what you deserved. So Dad is the victim. It's he won't, and he would deny it. He would sit there and deny it, but like, oh my God, this is your problem, Dad, is that you won't get help for being the victim of domestic violence. He has been badly abused by women. Extremely abused. I've witnessed it, and he won't talk about it. He will not talk about it. He won't even talk to me about it. Like, I'll try and get him to come and just talk. I don't know. That's why he cuts everyone off. That's why he has his house by himself, no one around. It's like, okay, so he can deal with the abuse that he's having. Like, you were abused by your wife. You need help with it. But he's almost 70 now. And it's the most horrible. And I've witnessed it. Like, I witnessed the abuse. And not only that, I witnessed the abuse from the way that the mental abuse that the mother of his other daughter has treated him. So I've witnessed even the mental abuse that he's gone through. And it's like, oh my God, I will never, ever have a relationship. I don't want to ever be in a relationship. Like, the abuse that he has gone through. And he's a man that gets no help and gets villainized when he's the victim. And I'm just like, this is what happens in Australia. Women, like they get everything and they get treated like we're the victims. It's like, you're the victim of your own fucking lies. I've stood there and I've just watched you lie and watched how people go around you, and it's like, she's lying. She is fucking lying. It's disgusting. And then you'll have people like Deb Mears, and I'm like, oh, fuck off, you fucking lowy little cunt. Well, I can't stand that bitch from Tamworth. I cannot stand that fucking Deb Mears bitch from Tamworth. Anyway, so yeah, my poor dad, and he was a lovely man. He's just grumpy now. His whole body's falling apart. He's a retired builder. But, you know, look at that and think, like, okay, you have got so much. He wouldn't unpack it now. Years ago, I was there in 2003. I was home at Dad's at Empire Bay, and he almost opened up. He was crying about the way Mum treated him. Like it was after what we had. It was after a party or something. So he had drinking. Like he's not a big drinker, so he was more like he opened up and he was crying, and he stopped. I'm like, Tim, just say it. Like, just say it. Like, accept the fact that you were abused by women. You've been abused by your wife. Okay? You've been abused and you have been manipulated and you have been used. Say it. Just say it. Like, I'm in my 20s. Actually, I was there with Joseph Mena. And I'm like, oh my God, just say it. Just say it. Like, will you start accepting the fact that you are the way you are because you have been the victim of domestic violence abuse? My mother used to bash you, and then Sky's mother used to abuse you. Okay? And then they would go out in public and play, we're the dainty women. Oh my God, we're innocent. But we're females. We're innocent. We're the victims. And I saw this. I'm like, oh my God, the bitch upstairs was fucking lying to me the other day on the phone. I'm like, I'm on the phone going, lies, 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 lies. Women just lie. I've grown up with watching it, like just watching it. Lies, lies, lies. And then I watch everyone, I'm like, she's lying. Are you fucking believing this bullshit? She is fucking lying. I don't believe a word out of any female's mouth ever. I was having a good hour conversation with someone the other day, just on the phone going, oh really? Oh, and I'm in my mind I'm going, lies, lies, fucking lies. Because women just lie and get away with it so well. All the time. Far too often. Anyway, so back to that. So Dad is lovely, retired builder. Doesn't know much. Keeps himself in his tower, which is a Fleming trait. Keeps himself in his tower, counting his coins. It's like the old school Fleming men. Sit there. They don't part with a penny. Don't part. They're very. Don't part with a penny type. The Fleming men don't ask. Like, even so, a great example is with the Fleming trait. You go to my nan and pops when they still lived in Parramatta. And Stan, he'd be like, if you want that TV on, leave the money on the fridge, please. Like, type thing. Or leave the money on the fridge. Lights off. So I'm there. I'm at Dad's. We're sitting in the family room. And I'm at Dad's at Empire Bay at home at Dad's. I'm there with Gio. And Dad's like, watching TV. Movie hadn't even finished. He's like, I'm going to bed. Turn the TV off. We're sitting there in darkness. Gio's like, so does that mean we're going to bed too? I'm like, yeah. Leave the money on the fridge if you want a light on. Like, type thing. They don't part with money. No. They'll be sitting there in their tower. It's like when Pop died. I don't know how much money Pop had in the bank, but Nan had a good chunk of savings that they wanted to know. I think it might have gone to her toy boy. My Nan had a toy boy after her husband died. When she was older, she had a little toy boy, and that's what caused some arguments in the family. He was a lot younger than my Nan. So after my Pop passed away, coming into the 90s, Nan had this toy boy that was younger than her, and the family wasn't happy because they're like, where's all the money that Dad had? I was like, where's all the money? Because Pop, I don't know how much money, but it was a good chunk of money that he had sitting in the bank, and that was gone. That was left to his late wife, my Nan, Ruby. Sorry, his wife. My name Ruby. And they were all like, where's the money that Dad had? You hear it throughout the family. It's like, right, she's giving it to this toy boy. Even Beck LeMay, my cousin, would be like, oh, she had a toy boy. That's why Beck stopped talking to her. So my cousin Rebecca stopped talking to her grandmother in 1996 because of the toy boy. She's like, oh, whenever she just spends all this money on him. She's like little toy boy. Anyway, so yeah. But yeah, I don't know what happened to that. But the Fleming men sitting in the little towers counting their money, going for their bank statement. They're so secretive about where they keep their money that the bank statements are not even sent to the home address. It wasn't. Like, Dad used to have everything sent to a PO box, and then he had 2 safes in the house. And even Debbie, my sister's mother, we're there at home and Dad's working away. He's like, I've never seen one of your father's pay slips ever. Like, and you never will. Never has my mother. You never will. And they're looking for the wardrobe. There was like this locked up case in the wardrobe. It's like, you're not going to find it. Like, Dad's really good at hiding money. You're going to find it. Like, the Fleming men are really good at hiding money. They always do. Pops to say it was a Fleming man trade. They won't part with a penny. And that's where they'll be the volcanoes coming down around them, and they're hugging their sacks of gold. That's what Fleming men do. Yeah, they'll be like, oh my God, the world's end, the volcanoes are coming down. Where's my sacks of gold to hang on to for dear life? That's the Fleming men. And anyone who knows the Fleming men will be like, yeah, that's the Fleming men's trait. Pop was the same. Stanley was the same. Dad's the same. I'm assuming Dad's brothers are the same. I'm not going to comment about myself there. But anyway, so the information that this organisation gathered, it was gathered and assumed that I was someone from a family of alcoholic and drug users when I'm not. The Fleming side will have aperitifs. They have, top shelf spirits, a nice wine collection, and quality beer to have as entertainment, but they're not going to sit there and drink. We always had a bar growing up until Mum got with her second husband. So the St. Vincent's, social workers, support workers, carer groups, home care group, like the entire organisations were given information to do with the Rackleys. The Rackleys' behaviour, Daniel Rackley's suicide. So it was assumed that I had depression and suicide attempts when it relates to Daniel Rackley, my mother's ex-stepson, my mother's second husband's son from his first marriage, who affiliated with the Freemason nursing home called Moonby House in Tamworth. And that's true. And I'm sitting back. And that's where a lot of the damage has been caused towards me, financial damage, in the last 10 years, because I've had organisations continuously harass me over this. But the information you have doesn't relate to me, it relates to the Rackleys. And you'll be continuously telling people, but I'm not related to the Rackleys. So the information you have relates to the Rackleys, and I've still to arguing where I've had people go, no, his father's a nurse. I'm like, no, my father isn't, but I want you arrested. And the charge is recklessly endangering my health, because you are lying about me and you are causing false information to be spread about me, and you're causing false information to be spread in the medical health industry that has now caused me health damage. I want to see you arrested for that. Because if you have to be told once after once, you've got to be told by 1 million times that Mark Rackley is not my father, I'm not related, I'm related to Mark Fleming. These are 2 different families. And you won't correct the false information that you have, which is exactly what St. Vincent's was told. So this has gone for the Medical Health Board, where I'm there going, they won't correct it. And even St. Vincent's were smart-ass to me going, oh, see, even they said that, there's no negligence. I'm like, you're still not correcting the fact that Mark Rackley is not my father. You're a large monstrosity organisation that I'm not going to back down. You're going to tumble. You are going to tumble. You still will not correct the fact that my father's Mark Ian Fleming, retired builder, you still believe, and we had this argument in 2017 that my father's Mark Rackley, a nurse. Okay, and I don't care. Like, they're going, but because his mother came here and said that his youngest sister is Faith Rackley, but Justin's saying his younger sister's Sky Fleming. It's like, because my younger sister is Sky Sheridan Fleming. You might want to wake up to yourself when my mother was just playing you guys. Oh, she did this. I can tell you exactly what my mother would have done to St. Vincent's. He was known as Rackley when that's not true. So therefore, that makes an organisation, a medical health industry, gather information related to her second husband's family, because Mum's done this before in the past. So that's why I already know what she would have done. She would have turned, she goes, oh no, he was known as Rackley. So therefore, then they gather information related to the Rackleys, which means Daniel Rackley. And Daniel Rackley's had several suicide attempts, threatened suicide, because he couldn't see his daughter, so he threatened suicide. That's true. His wife that he bashed, or his girlfriend, the mother of his child that he bashed up, wouldn't let him see his daughter, so he threatened suicide. He's an alcoholic, cannabis smoking, drug user, crystal meth user. Okay. My mother, Carol Ann Purdy, would have told people I was known as Rackley, so therefore the information to do with the Rackleys was projected onto me, number one. Okay. And you're listening to her because she said she's a concerned mother. Okay. Because this is not the first time she's done this. That's why I told the organisation, what are you doing? Don't take information from my mother, Carol. Okay, because she's already done this in the past. The second lie she goes to, she'll be there crying and be like, he doesn't remember his own sister. I've only got 3 children. I don't know what Justin's talking about. Lock her up. Lock her up. See, I know her scams, St. Vincent's. You're an idiot. Like, I know my mother's scams already. She would have gone to you and said, I don't know what Justin's talking about. I've only got 3 children. Yet, she's actually had 2 children from her first marriage with Mark Ian Fleming and 2 children from her second marriage with Mark Rackley. Now, she knows damn well, so one of the children from Mark Rackley died. She knows damn well that Mark Rackley has children from his first marriage and that Daniel Rackley lives in Tamworth. She knows damn well that. Okay. She also knows that her first husband, Mark Fleming, has another daughter, Sky Sheridan Fleming. And Sky Sheridan Fleming is Amanda Lee Fleming, my twin sister, and myself, younger sister. She knows damn well that Sky's mother has 3 daughters to her first marriage. And I grew up with Sky's mother's 3 daughters. Okay. That's Samantha, Laura, and Lucy. I grew up with Samantha, Laura, and Lucy. My younger sister's mother's daughters from her first marriage. Now, my mother, Carol, knows damn well, but she played you. She played social workers, support workers, and St. Vincent's. And she walked away, and you guys believe the information that she gave you, which that makes you negligent. They didn't even fact check it. St. Vincent's didn't even bother fact checking and continuously argued with me for like weeks on end in 2017. I'm like, you won't even look at a birth certificate. I've sent them a copy of my birth certificate. St. Vincent's have actively denied it as facts. St. Vincent's in Darwin have actively denied, so I sent them a copy of my birth certificate and they still would not correct the wrong information. And they were a smart ass to me. So you are going to tumble. Whichever way, you bastards will end up falling. Okay? So I've sent them a copy of my birth certificate to say, there, my dad's Mark Ian Fleming. I'm not related to Rackleys. There is no adoption. I'm not adopted. Okay? This is who I am as a person. They have blatantly refused to correct it. I'm looking forward to the day it finally gets picked up. These people that have got, it's the most simplest thing. Carol Ann Purdy was married to Mark Ian Fleming, the twins' father. Then Mark Ian Fleming divorced Carol Ann Purdy. Carol Ann Purdy married Mark Rackley. Mark Fleming had another daughter with Debbie Mackay, her married first husband Smith. And then there's half siblings and step siblings. Like, it's the most simplest thing that St. Vincent's refused, and then they refused the fact that the information they were given related to, because they're going, well, the information that they were given relates to the Rackleys. I'm like, exactly. That's not me. I'm not a Rackley. So are you going to start correcting it? No. I'm just a Mark Fleming and said to them, but that information that's right there attached to my file that any medical team can view, which then wrongly diagnoses me, that doesn't relate to me. And you've even admitted that, okay, yeah, you were given information to do with the Rackleys and you get information from wherever sources give it to you, right? Okay, but I'm not a Rackley. I'm not related, so that information doesn't relate to me. And I've already told you who it relates to. But you blatantly refuse to remove it. Why? What? Because is a mother a reliable source? I think you might want to do a bit of an investigation there. That's like saying, what, mothers can't be murderers or can't be, kill their kids or be, child abusers or something. Like, I think you guys need, a little bit of a reality check that you've actually gone too big, too quickly, and you need to be knocked off a few pedestals. as an organisation. Quite a few pedestals. A few of your buildings need to tumble quickly. And I think so. So the information that they have relates to my mum's second husband's family. They've attached it to me, and they refused to remove it, and it caused me damage for 10 years. Negligent damage, health damage.